Welcome back, everybody. So we're back to working on the 5-ton Ford now. I've had one of my employees today, Tim, one of my mechanics. He's been unplugging all these big case connectors, and there's so much water in these things. It's insane. I was like, yeah, maybe if you got water in them, whatever, but literally every one that he's pulled apart so far is just like dripping water out. So I've got him pulling every connector apart on the truck. We're going to go through it throughout the week, pull all the connectors apart, blow them out, dielectric grease them, take a look, make sure there's no rust formed in there. The truck has been sitting now for, 2 weeks now since the rollover happened. So we're going to do that. I still haven't drained the axles. I got to drain them. I got to get some big buckets because it's probably going to be 5+ gallons in each axle, if not even more than that. So next thing this week, we're going to be draining the axles. Transfer case is already drained. We already got that taken care of. The electronics inside, we're going to take the fuse box out because if all these case connectors have water in them and plugs have water in them, then I know that the fuse box inside the truck's going to have water in it. So that'll be next, taking that apart. Going in the cab, we know the radio is going to be shot. Not a big deal. I got some people talking to me on some audio stuff now, so hopefully we can work something out. And then not going to sweat that, but we do have a tug of war coming up this weekend. It's a Trucks Gone Wild tug of war at the barn in Sanford, Florida. And we're really going to try to push it and make it with this truck. So we got a lot of work to do this week. It's just a lot of BS in a way, like, the draining of the fluids. And I got to flush the transmission because, yes, there was some water in there. So it wasn't slap full of water, but there was enough water in there where it was like, all right, the clutches definitely got wet. Hopefully they hold. I don't know. It's got a manual shifter that we installed too. I don't know if that's still going to be any good. I'm really hoping it does. We can just flush everything out, we can just clean everything out and put it back together, and hopefully everything should work. I got the parts coming for the steering column, so my linkage will work for the shifter. I got stuff on the way. I just hope, at this point, just everything's going to work out so we can do these tugs this weekend. We always like to put on a show. This truck doesn't really pull that well, but it does for a good smoke show. I can sit there and hold this thing in fourth gear, tires spinning at probably 50, 60 miles an hour, and just blow the tires off of it. I like doing burnouts. I like burning rubber, so I don't get all serious into that stuff. So I just do it for fun. So as of right now, that's where we're at. Fuel tank's already been done. Transfer case just needs to be filled. Axles drained. Engine oil has already been flushed a little bit. We're going to actually change the oil probably 2 or 3 more times. I still got some diesel fuel in there, so we're going to get that diesel fuel out of there. The axles probably just just drain and fill on those. When we go and take these things mud bogging, it actually fills the water up because the seals aren't that great. And we'll be in water holes. Water is going to be this deep on the tire sometimes, and we're just hanging out there. So water is going to get in the axles. It happens. So these things are 5-ton military axles. I'm not stressing that too much. I think they're going to hold up just fine as far as being wet and moisture inside. But everything else, we are working on it. It's going to be a long week this week trying to get ready. So we'll keep you updated throughout the week, show you some stuff on the truck. Hopefully Saturday, be heading over to the barn. We'll see what happens. All right, let's drain this rear axle here. See how it looks. I have a feeling it's gonna look really nice. Crystal clear. So in case you're wondering, yes, water will settle at the bottom. Oil stays on top of the water. So pretty much you drain all the water first, and then eventually it changes to oil at some point. Really drink that. Fresh pond water for sale. Oh, I'm smelling some gear lube. Look at that. That smells like some 90 weight. So all in all, it really wasn't too bad. There's about 5 gallons. I'd say between I don't know, 6 to 6.5 gallons or so of oil came out. Well, oil and water mixed. Strain the front, see how the front looks. Oh yeah, this is the strap that broke and the truck rolled back into the water. I don't know if you guys saw Cletus's video, but unfaithful strap right there. Unbelievable. Went back in the water further than what it was in there the first time. So got some cattail. I'm just gonna leave these. I think they deserve to stay. Alright. Think we're gonna have a repeat here or what? Oh yeah, I do. I wish I would have filmed the engine draining because it looked a lot like this. Oh, actually, the front wasn't too bad. No crap. Cool. We got fluid pretty quick out of the front. Front's actually draining really good. The rear, I must have a plugged vent in the rear because the rear was took a while, but the front, the vent actually broke. When the steering shaft broke, when we were pulling it back to the house, I'm sorry, the steering ram, this is the fitting that we actually ripped out. And it ripped it right out of the top of this ram. So we actually had to have our local hydraulic shop cut this off, weld a new bung on there for us, and they were able to knock that out for us. There's the vent actually on this axle right there. I think the tube. Yeah. Oh. About made a rookie mistake on that one. Right? Not too much of a mess. So yeah, here's actually the vent hose here. As you can see, broke that, broke this off. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know if you guys saw Mitchell's video where we're stuck in the middle of the road, but it wasn't terrible. We got it back to the shop here. All right, well, both axles are drained. The front one really wasn't terrible. That's actually pretty normal on a 5-ton truck that you go and ride around the mud hole. So I'm pretty happy with that. Actually, the front end stayed kind of sealed. I don't know how. I guess that wasn't broke, so that's cool. All right, well, and as you guys saw, to be honest with you, this thing was sealed up well enough. Water got in, but when we pulled it out of the pond, there wasn't like an oil slick or anything in the pond. As far as I know, no fish have died yet, so pretty awesome. All right, we got Jason working on the big truck here, getting it ready. Let's climb up here. Let's kind of box of parts from Ford. Let's see what this guy's doing up here. Here's a column piece that was broken. So we got him putting that in right now. He's gonna get that thing in there. We'll see how broke it is, and then probably pull the, it's got a shift module in it for that aftermarket shifter. So we're gonna pull that thing out, see how much water and stuff's in there, see if it's got anything in it. And then once he fixes that, we can get it back running again and go from there. Also gonna pull the fuse box out too while he's in here. Fuse box is mounted up under the dash up there, so get that thing out and see what it does. So here's what we found. Here's the shifter column that the shifter goes to, and that runs alongside the steering column. And when you put it in gear, it rotates this whole thing. Well, shoe broke. Can't say I've ever seen that before. I guess either me or Uncle Chet, one of our one of us must have smashed into this thing as we were flipping. So that's good. The steering column's back to working again. Everything's good there. We're actually gonna leave the box in it for tonight. I'm gonna try to get all the fluids topped off and actually take this thing for a test drive. So that's our next step. We'll take it for a test drive. I'm gonna fill the axle and everything, get everything full of fluid again, make sure everything's good. Take it for a quick run, make sure everything's working, the engine runs okay again, and then we're gonna come back in here, possibly do that tomorrow and get ready for the truck pulls.
All right, I'm recording.
Really?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yep.
Get this call.
Holy memory card,
Hello.
8 hours?
What's up? What's up, man?
What's up, guys? I'm the new cameraman around here. Boss man won't get off the phone. Anyway, this Galaxy over here is way cooler than any diesel you guys will catch in this shop. 12 valve Cummins, best engine ever made. You can ask Justin, he'll back that up. Hello? It sucks working on these things, huh?
It's not fun.
What's your take on 12 valve Cummins engines?
I don't like them.
Dude.
They're dinosaurs.
All right, I quit. I'm not working here anymore. That's all I need to know.
The small block Chevy of just diesels. Like, everybody's had it. They've done everything with them. They swapped them and everything. Just, come on. It's something new.
Well, folks, I thought I was going to like this channel.
This channel sucks.
Can you clean this thing, dude?
It's already clean, man. You got a fresh one.
Oh, dude, I don't know if you saw this. Okay, have you watched the original video where the actual whole top of the van gets ripped off?
Yeah.
And it was on your hitch?
Yeah.
Truck goes in?
Yeah.
Truck comes out? No roof. It's in the pond.
Well, yeah.
So you gotta get that out at some point, right?
You know, my Yeti cup's in the pond too.
Dude, we need to, you know what? We need to contact that magnet YouTuber who throws the magnets in and makes the videos.
This is true.
Have him come out.
Did you get his phone? His phone's in the pond too.
Cheyenne's phone is in the pond. Dude, this guy can make a couple bucks.
Dude, we got phones.
Tell your favorite magnet fisherman to hit me up.
And my back window's in there too. It had a lot of cool stickers on it. I'd like to get that thing back.
Yeah.
Irreplaceable.
Back window. That's great to know that that's in the pond. I'll be sure to not swim in it ever again. My children in 10 years won't be able to go in the pond because of you.
All right, folks. So we are well on our way right now. It's Thursday night. Getting some other stuff buttoned up. Right now, I got the drain plugs back and everything. I started putting fluid in some things. Truck did start a little bit ago. So got it running again. Got it fired up. We're gonna change the gears in the transfer case. I wanna put a lower gear set in there. So that's what we're gonna do right now, and then get that thing full of fluid, and we'll see what we can do from there. So we run a 12.66 inch SCS drop box in this truck. They come in all different sizes. SCS makes gearboxes for everything. Monster trucks, boats, outdrives, all kinds of stuff. So they're a pretty awesome company. They've been around for a long time. What they've patented, well, I can't say patented, but what they've come up with is they've got a quick change gear set right in this cover, which you'll see here in a minute. And that lets us go from different gear ratios all the way from, don't hold me to this, but I know that I can go from, you know, 2 and some change gear ratios all the way up to 4+ gear ratios. So what this does is it does gear reduction in the transfer case, so that because with these 66-inch tires, the axles aren't quite enough. So there's a 644 gear ratio in the axle, and then this right now is set at a 3.2 to 1. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling the 3.2 out. I'm gonna make it a 3.5. That way I can catch more gears. It'll scream whenever I'm trying to do, you know, a burnout or a tug or whatever. So that's what we're doing right now. We're gonna do the gear swap and then fill it up with fluid, and we should be good. This here on the Fords, in case you're wondering, this is actually my ABS sensor. You gotta run these with a reluctor ring on the Ford diesels. Gas trucks also, anything with the 5R110 transmission and 4R100 transmission or later, because this actually messes with the speedo, or I'm sorry, it reads the speedo, and that actually makes shift points. So that's what helps the transmission shift. Without it, a lot of guys have tried to run it without it. They hurt their transmissions. Not good. So now, just push these bolts in. I usually leave these in here because you don't want them to get filled up with dirt. Funny thing is, I literally had this cover off. I'm talking on my way to Cletus's house that day. I yanked the cover off to check something out, so just was off not too long ago. I'll put 3. I think I had 3 in it, and then 1 fell out one day or something. I lost it at the mud hole. Just get this back in there. Alright. Now, I do have some... There it is. So here's my gears. little bit of water in there. I did drain it, but it couldn't get it all out, I guess. Alright. So like I said, the gear set I had in here was a 3.2 to 1. So we're gonna change this. This is actually a 29-34 gear set. So 29 tooth on the small guy, 34 on the big guy. All right, so I just slid the transmission into neutral. This thing's all-time four-wheel drive, so it can be kind of a pain sometimes to get this thing back lined up properly. So I do have some bad bearings and stuff. We're not gonna worry about that right now. We're not going very fast. And it's literally that simple. You can change your gear ratio like that. I mean, I use SCSs in all the trucks I built, and we don't have any failures with them. They work really well. So I'm gonna stick to using them as much as I can. And I mean, it's just so simple to change the gears, and the selection is huge. I don't think there's any other box out there that has the selection they have as far as gear ratios. It's got a rubber O-ring gasket. I don't know if I saw that, I didn't really point that out, but it does have an O-ring gasket inside the cover there, so there's no need for silicone or anything like that. And as you notice, these cases, they run a gear-to-gear setup. That's how they get that drop. These things range, you can get as low as a 10-inch drop. This is a 12.6. They go to an 18, they go to a 24. I believe they even go as far as, some cases will even go as far as 30+ inches. I don't know if SCS offers that or not, but that's how you get your drop. Gear-to-gear, it's the strongest setup. These gears are just, they take some abuse. I've yet to ever break a gear set. All right. Oh. That's how you break a knuckle, or make a knuckle bloody. So anyways, there it is. It's in. I just gotta top the fluid off. Here's the fill plug here. I'm gonna take that thing out, top some fluid off in there, get it filled up, and we're set to go for the tugs. All right, so got the rear axle filled. We got the gear swap done in the transfer case. We also got the transfer case full of fluid, so we're good there. So next we got the front axle to fill, which I'm about to do now. All the drive shaft U-joints are greased. The reason I went ahead and greased them was because when it sat in the water, it probably saturated the U-joints with water. They're not exactly sealed very well. So I wanted to actually grease them so it pushes the water out the sides of the U-joints. So now we got fresh grease coming out the U-joints, all 3 drive shafts, and pretty much about to fill the front axle. It's getting a little late, so I'm probably gonna call it after we get the axle filled in the front. I might fire the truck up one more time, just make sure everything's good. But gonna pump this in there. It takes about 4 gallons or so, I think is what the rear just took. So about 4, give or take 4 gallons. So we're gonna do that and get ready to fire this thing up, see how she's running tonight. I finally got all the intercooler piping on it. Everything is 100% back together on the engine. There's an air filter in it. Everything's done. So I'm gonna fire the truck up. Let's see how it runs tonight. And then in the morning, I'm probably gonna flush the transmission. Probably flush the transmission in the morning, just like take a line off. We'll see if we can get that on film, see what we can do, and get all the water hopefully out of the torque converter and everything. We did let it drain, but I think there's still gonna be water in there all the way up through the radiator and the transcooler and everything up front. So we're gonna do that, and then we're also going to do some engine oil changes with the engine hot. There's still some moisture in the oil, go figure. So we're gonna do that, and then after that, I think we're gonna be ready to do some tugs. As long as everything's working, I mean, I might even get the radio working tomorrow. We'll see. So as of right now, we'll be back in the morning and get this thing fired up and moving under its own power. And hopefully I don't have any issues and I can go tug this thing on Saturday. I'll make sure it's still breathing for tomorrow. I believe that the mirror actually held up. Didn't break the mirror. All the dents and stuff over there. Windshield, not so much. Oh yeah, none of these things work, but they didn't work before, so. So it's Friday now, last day, tomorrow's truck pulls. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some transmission fluid to it and do kind of a backyard flush on the transmission, get all the water out of it hopefully. And then first of all, I'm gonna drain the trans pan just a little bit, see if there's any water sitting in the bottom. That'll kind of tell me how much water is probably left in the trans. So I'll get that done and then do this kind of backyard flush, get the engine running, get it hot. And I wanna drop the engine oil out of it because there's moisture in the engine still. And then hopefully flush the engine oil a couple times. The trans fluid should only take that one time and I should be good on the transmission. Do some heat cycles with it and see how the fluid looks. And then we'll go from there, see if everything works. All right, so we got our return line off here into the bucket. We're gonna see how the fluid looks coming out of that. So once he starts it up, we'll be able to see it and go from there. Whenever you're ready, Eddie. Pretty damn red out of both. Of course. Try to make not much of a mess, but alright. It's looking pretty red. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think the transmission actually had that much water in it, so let's see what she does. Unhook the jumper cables, get it started up, and see if it drives. My trans leakage. BRB. So I backed down the driveway. As soon as I put it in for reverse to drive, lost my throttle pedal. So let's see if it's working now. I was scared to shut it off though, because I wasn't sure if it was gonna run or not. Get one more shot at it.
There we go. Lost the pedal again. Uh-oh.
What I thought was gonna happen. Drain the oil right here. See what happens? Keep talking. Grab a drain pan and see how much water. See how this works. Oh yeah, still a lot of water in there. It's gonna take a while for that stuff to flush out, but I want to get the engine hot. That way I could get it mixed in real good. It looks real thin, so I think what's happening is when the oil gets real thin like this, because there's still quite a bit of water in there, it can't build enough ICP pressure to fire the injectors. So I was looking at the scanner, and sure enough, it was not building ICP, which everything's working fine when it's running. So hopefully drain this out, put some fresh oil in it, some really fresh after this stuff's all drained, and we should be good to go. Probably do 2 or 3 more changes on it, get it all flushed out, and go from there. Well, Jason's been up here scraping away. Got the windshield most of the way out. Safety first. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do with it. I don't know. Where do you think we take this thing? I'll scratch my dashboard, dude. I just got that thing put in last week. It's custom. All right. check everything over real quick. A little bit of steam coming out right in the hood, but I think everything's just got a lot of oil and stuff on it from working on it. Looking good. For a while and see what it does. So, good news. We got the throttle pedal fixed. I had to use one out of another truck I got here. So got that taken care of. The throttle pedal's working like it should. The windshield, we got that thing busted all the way out. Got all the glass we can get picked up. The only thing I really got left to do right now, I gotta basically top the transmission off because I think it's a little over full. So I'm gonna drain some fluid out of that, top it off, whatever. Engine oil's good. I did a couple changes on the engine oil. It's working great. That's pretty much it for now. So tomorrow we will be going to the barn. We're going to be doing the tug of wars for Trucks Gone Wild. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. The truck is running really good. After we got the throttle pedal fixed, I went and did a little pull in it. It works well. So I'm going to do a couple more pulls in it this morning, make sure everything else is perfect. And at that point, we should be ready to load up and go. So we'll be heading up to Orlando, Florida here shortly. Thank you for watching the JH Diesel channel. We'll see you next time.